Hail to the king, baby.
You gotta take big chances in order for the potential for a big positive outcome.
Hadouken!
Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to The Boring Company. Hope you're all well. So, if you've been following the news recently, you'll know that the Westgate Tunnel, the second tunnel, has now been completed, which has resulted in the completion of that particular project. So we should see that opening up in the next 3 to 4 months, which is excellent. And just wanted to go over essentially what has been completed there and future possible plans. So this tweet came through, or this post as it's now known, came through from The Boring Company on the cradle, which is this piece here, which supports the front end of the machine, including the cutter head there. Proof 1 has officially completed the Westgate 2 tunnel. This is the 4th tunnel that Proof 1 has constructed in Las Vegas, and the 7th overall Vegas Loop tunnel. Other 3 tunnels were completed using Godot and Proof 2. Now, this came as a complete surprise to me because I believe this was the Proof 2 machine. Now, this opens my eyes because originally I was a little bit unsatisfied with the speed of this particular machine. But obviously, Proof 2 is having some work undertaken on it at the moment, and Proof 1 stood in for Proof 2 for this particular project. This probably is going to be the last project that Proof 1 is used on. Otherwise, what is the point of developing Proof 2 and Proof 3? So hopefully we see a fun retirement for that particular TBM, and they then focus on building either another Proof 2 or a further enhanced version of Proof known as Proof 3. I anticipate that we will actually see maybe 7, maybe even 8 versions of Proof, and surely but steadily we'll move up to the 2, 3, maybe 400 meters per day progress. But it will take time because refining this machine requires data, and to get data they need to build tunnels, and to build tunnels they need to continue to work in Las Vegas. So you'll remember this from my previous presentation. The tunnel up here in grey, that is the tunnel that was completed going to the Westgate Hotel and Casino. That has now been completed. The next project that we will see is this one here, going to the North Station from the Riviera Station. So it just stitches in the entire system so that you can have vehicles moving between all possible options in the system, rather than focusing on just one kind of loop, as it were, that we currently see. So it just makes things a little bit more efficient, doesn't it, if we can move throughout the system without being disrupted. Okay, so let's have a good look at some of these pictures. So as you can see, this is a very, very early picture of the trench at the pit at Riviera Station. As you can see on the right hand side, we have the shielding to Proof 1, and this is the launch of the machine there. This was a good couple of months ago. This is that current site as of today. As you can see, things have progressed quite well, and we're looking at really the complete covering of this particular part of the project, and then a further tunnel established linking the North Station there and this Riviera Station. As you can see, we have our prefabricated wall panels, we have our soldier piles and the timber lagging in there, and this is the second tunnel which has just been completed. This, by the way, will form a trench that will be turned into a tunnel using cut and cover, and then that will link up to the next part of the project. Here's the actual drawing, or the site plan as it were. As you can see, we've got our second tunnel, which is from this spot here. This is our first tunnel, by the way, and we'll see that connected up in this area here. Good stuff. Okay, so this is at the Westgate Casino. As you can see, we now have both tunnels that have been constructed using the porpoising method. This has proved extremely valuable and useful because it results in you not requiring a reception shaft, which can cost anywhere from $1.5 million all the way up to potentially $3-4 million. So this costs basically the same as running a tunnel. So the only thing you lose is a bit of time, but I'd say this is an excellent solution for these kinds of situations where you're connecting up hotels, and you'll have a surface station there. As you can see, they've painted the outside of this just for aesthetic reasons, but that will be done over here as well. Here is a picture of the machine before it was taken away, which happened today. You can see the screw conveyor here. All this equipment will be dismantled and then removed, and I anticipate that they will either recycle this equipment or recycle it or scrap it. Either way, this machine is probably not going to run again. The reason being is it doesn't have enough power, enough performance to compete with Proof 2 and Proof 3, so it just wouldn't be a good decision to continue using it. Here's the machine a couple of days ago before it was dismantled and taken away. As you can see, it's showing a bit of wear and tear, this machine, but it has been used on various projects now, so it's we've got our money's worth out of this machine, so the Boeing company can be quite happy of what they've done here. But this still is a very much a Frankenstein machine using Boeing company components from the original Godot machine, components that they've pulled off the shelf from other tunneling manufacturers, and it's just not reliable enough to continue to use. So hence we will see Proof 2 and Proof 3 on future jobs. Let's move on to the next photograph. So these are some good photographs, as you can see. We get a good look at the front of the machine. We can see all the cutter discs. We can see our cradle, which is this area here. Quite a good system when using porpoising, because then obviously the TBM sits on the cradle. You then dismantle it, lift it using a crane, put it on the back of a flatbed, and then you move it to your next job, or in this case the scrapyard. But we will see a lot of work in this area over the next 2 to 3 months as they make that connection to the rest of the system, and this area will be covered, and I presume above it will be parking spaces, although I don't actually know what all of it will be used for. I presume some of it will be used for turning vehicles and things like that, but it will be a useful site, this, for kind of pulling data and establishing how vehicles move in and around the system, improving efficiencies. So one thing to talk about is what's going to happen in the tunnel. So obviously they're going to fit out the tunnel. They have all the CCTV systems. They have a series of pipes that are used to pump water out of the tunnel in the event of a flood. That has never ever happened. These are submersible pumps, or sub pumps as some people may refer them. You have obviously extensive lighting systems within that tunnel, fire suppression system. You have all sorts of things that you need to put into that tunnel, and that's what will go into the tunnel over the next sort of 10 to 15 weeks. One of the biggest improvements that the Boeing company has made over the last year or two is these precast concrete road decks, which are installed fairly rapidly. Potentially as many as 8 8 to 10 segments per hour, and they pretty much work a full day, so you can imagine that this gets done fairly quickly. How they then finish the surface, I'm guessing they use some kind of screed or a thin layer of concrete, but overall this system is much more cost effective and much quicker to install than what they've previously used on other jobs, and it amazes me they didn't move to that quicker. Here's a picture of the machine just after it emerged, and basically that's all we know about this project. So it's good to see work has completed on that. It looks like the next project after this could be the Resorts World final tunnel, or maybe the Encore Win, but we don't actually know. That there's potentially a tunnel going up to the Strat as well. What they'll attack next is probably going to be in and around the conference centre, in my opinion, but I will keep you posted. If you've not already done so, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, consider following me on these various social media platforms. As always, thanks to everyone for supporting me on Patreon. It really does help me produce more videos, even when time is extremely limited these days, but I do still get those videos out there, so I hope that you've learned something today. And as you can see, the Boring Company is alive and kicking. It is far from dead. Lots and lots of tunnels coming online, and those will be commissioned. We should see vehicles running in that system at the end of March 2024. And if you have not already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. And remember, guys, don't be boring. I shall see you on the next video. Take care. Goodbye.
Prove me wrong, and that'd be great.
Oh boy, we're gonna have a swell time tonight.
Hail to the king, baby.